Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Connected by Community, a podcast brought to you by Ballantyne Capital Advisors. I'm Brian Ballantyne, and I am here with Anthony Colincheco, and we have a guest for a second time with this company, but the first time for him, Ryan Frazier from Kanga Coolers. Welcome.
Awesome. Great to be here. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and a lot of things have transpired since we had another member from your team here. So we wanted to get another perspective and all the cool things because you guys are an awesome success story and all kinds of things to unpackage. And I'm hoping I can get it done in the time that allots. So I'm going to fire away at you if that's okay.
I tell you what, it's a ton. Let's get into it.
So maybe for our listeners first, let's just you personally, just tell our listeners kind of where you come from. Are you from this area and what brought you to the area?
Yeah, of course. So I feel like I'm a Greenville native. I've been here since 2006. Even before, we were kind of moving around a little bit. But yeah, I've been here since 2006. It's grown like crazy. So love the area. Went to Malden Middle School, Malden High School, went to Clemson University, and now we're back here.
Awesome. Yeah, you're a real native if you did all that.
Yeah, I tell you what, stay in the area.
So beyond that, you did some really cool things at Clemson we're going to jump into, which led to an interesting story and a real success story of Kanga Coolers. So maybe share with our listeners what happened at Clemson that led you to a project, on to maybe even TV things that led to a great business idea.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll get into my background a little bit. Even from like middle school, high school, I always got the itch for entrepreneurship and trying to make something out of nothing. So in middle school and high school, I got really into eBay, and I guess I had to consent with my parents because you have to be 18. But before that, I was selling golf stuff, so tailor-made stuff on eBay to people around the country. After that, I'm really into video games, so little controllers, I modded them, painted them, and sold them on, of course, eBay. And it was just a fun time, so I got that itch. And then I got working at Publix in Five Forks, and did that my, I think, junior and senior year of high school. Went into Clemson University, love real estate too and building. I actually took an AutoCAD class through high school and just loved like architecture. So I went into Clemson as an architecture major and actually did bridge programs, so did Tri-County over to Clemson. And I am not artsy whatsoever, so I backed out of that once I did actually get into Clemson and went into the business school. And I kind of jumped around there. I changed my major like 4 times. I went from like general business to like management to marketing, and finally I went into finance. So at my time at Clemson, did finance degree. I minored in accounting with an emphasis in real estate that I don't really use too much today. But yeah, finance just really captivates me. Spreadsheets, I'm all like behind the scenes. I love that kind of stuff. But my last semester at Clemson, there's an entrepreneurship class, and it was called New Venture Creation. And the goal of the class was to take $500 and start a business and turn a profit by the end of the semester. And that's kind of where I met Logan and 3 of our other, initial founders. And yeah, it was 5 of us in the beginning. I'd say a lot of mistakes there. When you're trying to build a company through the class, you create the company, but you don't know who's in there for the long run. You don't know how to do anything pretty much. It was kind of just like throwing stuff at the wall and see what sticks. And we had to unwind a few things after that class project. Some people went on their own ways, and we had to split up a little bit. Me and Logan actually stayed on, and then Austin came on, and then it just kind of grew from there.
And so, because I've seen the ads, so I know the answer, I believe.
Yeah.
You're never supposed to ask a question you don't know the answer to. So I'm being dangerous. I think I know the answer.
Here we go.
What did you get on the grade for the class?
Yeah, so that's something we talk about a ton. We did get a C.
I love it. I love it. That's
I tell you what, there was a curriculum to the class,
Yep.
and we did the best that we could.
Yep.
But I think this project was bigger than the class, and it really, the class did provide us with a lot of good things that we could use. But yeah, we didn't follow the curriculum too well. So
I saw this book recently. It said, "Why do A students work for C students?" So there's hope for all of us, right? Anyway, I
crazy.
think
I love
that's
that.
great, right?
I guess on your point right there, we do a lot of social media and stuff. So on TikTok, we'll just go in the office and ask each other different questions. And one of the ones that always blows up when we do it is, what was your GPA in college? And I mean, all of us were like around, we weren't like straight A students. We were below 3, around 3. I was 3.3. And it really just you make what it is.
Well, I've always told my kids that work ethic will always, it really comes to you have I'm sure you had to put some work in, right? Like it did not come easy. We haven't
Just
even
a little bit.
so, that will outplay nothing wrong. Like, really smart kids, we need those, right?
Right.
They figure out really scientific, smart things, and that's great. So yeah, I just think that's so cool. So I do want to tell you a quick story.
Sure.
You'll love this actually. It's true story. So I too am very entrepreneur, obviously wouldn't be doing what I did, but I would have loved to have your product, which I guess I'm getting ahead of myself, but I'm thinking about what you did. I'm in college. I can't remember what year. I'm out in Fresno State, which transferred back to over here. I was in an exchange program. And it was New Year's Eve. And if anyone knows what Union Square is in San Francisco, it's like Times Square. It's not quite as big, but it's lots of people, right? I don't know how many. And so they didn't have beer. I was of the age at that point in time I could consume. And so they didn't have any. You had to walk to these stores. I walked way down. I get a 24-pack, and I'm sitting here thinking, gee, this cooler would have been really great to have with this. And I open up the 24-pack because I'm bringing it back to my friends, right, who are waiting on me. And I have one beer, and that becomes my marketing thing. I didn't realize this because somebody comes up to me and says, can I have a beer? And I'm like, no, but I'll sell you one. I sold 23 beers, well, one marketing one. By the time I got back, my friends got none. So that was my entrepreneurial thing, but I was thinking how good the cooler would have been.
That is not bad.
But I thought you would have liked that story.
Absolutely. I love that.
So I only had one, but I sold 23. I think at $5 a beer at that time. So
you can buy another pack. You're good to go.
No, I stayed for the party after that.
There you go.
It was just a great story,
That's very cool.
Yeah. But anyway, so take us through. You've now gone to Clemson. You've gotten the Great C, which I think is the key to success. What happens then?
No, that's great. Yeah, to your point. So the product that we create is a iceless cooler. So it's kind of like a koozie for a case of beer, where you grab a cold case, put it in, it keeps cold for up to 7 hours without any ice. And from then, I mean, it's a wild story. I know that Austin was on here before, and his episode was really great. I listened to it last night, and I mean, it's really cool to see where we were and where we're going. So what we're forecasting is, so we got the Kase Mate. The Kase Mate was our prime product. That was the koozie for a case of beer. Over the years, we added another one, so an upgraded one. It's the pouch. It has an waterproof liner, so you can put more. It's more versatile. That's my favorite one. You have the strap on it and everything. And then we come out with a beer block, which was Logan's dad's idea apparently, and we have to give him credit for it. But it's an ice pack in the shape of a can. So you have a cold case. You take the first can out and you put the beer block in, and it keeps it cold for another 2 hours or something. So it adds a little improvement. So since then we've just been growing. We started out from Logan's parents' basement. We went to Anderson. We had a small warehouse. It was tragic, but we did what we could. So we got some space over there. Luckily, after Shark Tank, we were able to move to Greenville. So we got in the Maravan Center. We got a little bit of space over there, 2,500 square feet or so, maybe a little bit less. I think it probably was 1,000 square feet. So then we upgraded to 3,500 square feet to another unit in the same place. And then after Q4, I think we were just breaking up the seams. So we expanded a little bit, got into 11,000 square feet of warehouse space, but it was kind of like awkward layout. Like we couldn't really utilize it to the fullest of our ability. But yeah, since then we actually just bought a 30,000 square foot warehouse. So we are currently renovating it right now because it's straight out of the 90s. Nothing wrong with that. But we'll be moving in there this year and a lot more space for our growth.
I want to go back to the Shark Tank.
Yeah, sure.
I think when Austin was first here, we had to tread lightly on the Shark Tank conversation. How'd you get on Shark Tank? What was the experience like? Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. That's a good question. Logan, so throughout college, I think I graduated at this point, but Logan, he always carried around the Shark Tank application in his backpack. And I think he filled it out here and there every once in a while, but it was kind of a long shot. But at one of the Pitch Smackdowns or an event at Clemson University, we met someone who was on the show, and they just said, go for it. And we saw that there's an open call casting in, I believe, Atlanta. And they went down there and really early. They killed it there really early in line. And that was the first kind of audition, I would say. It's a TV show audition. So we went up there, or they went up there. They did a really good job, and we got the call back, and it was a long process. It was a very long process, but it was a shot in the dark. We submitted our application, showed up to an open call, and it kind of went really well with that. We got really close to the producer, or one of the producers of Shark Tank, and I don't know if that helped or not, but we got on our nerves because we said everyone bombard this person, and we just made it through the motions.
And I believe, was it Mark Cuban that originally was very interested?
Yes, Mark Cuban. So that was so in the process of doing the Shark Tank, because we love Shark Tank in the beginning, so we watched almost all the episodes. Like, we got probably burnt out on it mostly, but we studied all the sharks, and we're like, Mark Cuban just makes the perfect fit. Like, he's the perfect fit for what we're doing. In the past, he's invested in beer or alcohol companies or products. So we're like, he's a great guy. So we went on there. Really, we were going to take anyone who had an interest or had a good deal, but that was great. So we went on the show and filmed in August or September of 2018, and it was a really quick episode. I think it was one of the quickest. Like, we got a deal, but he saw the product, he understood it. All the other sharks had great points and stuff. I don't think anybody went out, so we can say that nobody went out on a product, so it was good. but yeah, he knew what we had, and Austin stood on the cooler and said we got a deal, and from there it was kind of a fun process.
So I'm assuming that helped kind of catapult you guys. That had to be a big win.
Yeah, that was huge. The year leading up to that, we really put everything, not really on hold, but our focus was Shark Tank, because we're like, if we can put everything into this and really make it for what it's worth, and it can really give us some credibility and national exposure that we don't really have to pay for, because we're a young company, we don't have any money. I think it helped tremendously. Once we were on the show, so we filmed in September 2018, and then we were under due diligence for a while. And 3 weeks before we aired, we got a call and said, "Yeah, you're going on." April of 2019, I think, is when we first aired, and that was pretty cool. 3 weeks, you can't plan for much, so we didn't really have much inventory. Thankfully, we had a little bit, so sales shot through the roof. That's when Logan and Austin came on full time. We had someone move down from New York that saw us on the show and loved us, so he came down and started working for us, and then it was kind of like a whirlwind. So that definitely catapulted things.
And ever since then, I know you guys have been huge on social media, doing lots of stuff. I see you guys doing lots of events. But now you're in a lot of retailers, even locally, right, and nationally. This thing is turning into something really large. And I'm sure if I were in Minnesota or California, I'd probably walk in and see you somewhere.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we're definitely focused more so on the East Coast, and that's our biggest area because that's where we are. We're kind of moving out west a little bit, but we're in Ace Hardware, so almost all of them. It's a constant rollout with them. We're building a good relationship, but that's one of our biggest retailers that we're in. So
love Ace Hardware.
I love that. They don't call themselves a big box for a good reason. It's a lot of family-owned stores and chains, which is great. People enjoy shopping there. But even more locally, we have like Palmetto Moon, and we have a lot of local retailers. If you go to our site, you can go to Store Locator, and there's a lot of stores, and it's really cool building that up. And we go to trade shows a lot, definitely on the East Coast. But yeah, retailers are incredible. You can go in a lot of places and find them.
It was cool when Austin was here. I think that was one of my first experiences. I saw the episode air, and I think I don't do a lot of shopping, so I'll admit that. I go to Ace more, but I happened to go to Palmetto, and I'm like, oh, they're there.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of, it was awesome to see. So
that's very cool. Even walking into a store or people sending us photos like, oh my gosh, I saw you in here. Like, I didn't expect it. And like, they're just like in the window. It's very cool.
Yeah, that has to be awesome for sure.
So not only are you doing that, but just recently you probably won a contest with one of the largest YouTubers, MrBeast. Could you talk about that experience? That's
right. That was a whirlwind. That was very cool. So in Q4 last year, I think it was like September, October of 2023, Austin, I have to give him credit. Austin saw a post on Facebook, and Shopify does this thing, or Shopify is a big supporter of MrBeast, and they buy ad space on his videos, and they just wanted to give back to the community and small business in particular. So they put a post on Facebook that said, present your business and like what you do, what your product is, and we'll choose someone for a spot in MrBeast video. MrBeast is huge. I think those spots probably go for like $1 to $2 million, which like even at our size right now, it's tough to kind of spend that money on marketing and ad spend and stuff. So Austin, he submitted our company, and we heard back pretty quickly when it was pretty close to the deadline. So we heard back and we got the spot, which is pretty cool. Shopify reached out to us. MrBeast team reached out to us. we had to get the product in their hands really quickly. So they asked for coolers. I think the video that they were doing, the cooler was a pretty good fit, and it fit in pretty well with what they're like. I guess the ad spot that they were doing. So some guy drove down from Greenville, North Carolina. I had to stay pretty late. I think he came at like 11 p.m. or midnight or something. We handed it off to him. He sped back, and we didn't hear anything for about a month or a month and a half or something. It was back and forth, like, oh yeah, the episode's coming out, like, or the YouTube video is coming out either like this week, and then it got pushed to December, and then that launched, and it was super cool. The reception, I mean, we got a lot of eyeballs on it. Not really uptake. About half of his viewers are young, and I mean, our product is a beer cooler, and all that. We do have products coming out this year that are going to be more tailored to everybody, which is very cool. So, but yeah, it was a really cool experience. MrBeast team is awesome to work with, and yeah, a lot of exposure. I think that video is at 220 plus million views, eyeballs.
So people can still go out and see that, and I'm sure Shark Tank go out and see that too.
Yeah, that's right. We call it an evergreen ad. So I mean, it never goes away. And I mean, MrBeast videos. I mean, if it pops up, it doesn't matter if it was filmed 2 years ago or yesterday. I mean, people are always looking.
But it's a cooler, right? I mean, you could put soda cans in that cooler, right? So it's not.
That's right. Yeah. I think our persona is like, grab a 12-pack, go out. But like I said, the pouch is waterproof liner. I mean, you can put ice in it, you can put snacks, you can put any sort of drinks in it. So yeah, it is really versatile, and that's what we're kind of expanding.
Can you talk about maybe some of the things that are coming out this year? You mentioned maybe some other products that might be, our viewers might want to know about. Yeah,
of course. Little hint, I guess, more versatile, and not only for I guess I can get into a little bit. So our new product, we're going to be launching it around Father's Day this year, but it is a lunchbox. So something that we always got is we always gave our coolers to someone, and they said, man, I love it, but like during the week, I want to use it as a lunchbox, and it just wasn't meant for that. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to give the people what they're really asking for, and you have to see the use cases. Mm-hmm. So big, huge, not really revolutionary, but a lunchbox. Mm-hmm. It works. It looks like a cooler. It looks like a Kase Mate, but it's very versatile. So I think that would have hit more in Q4 when we did have that. And but yeah, that's one of the products that's coming out. We do have a line that are coming out like maybe a year and a half out. But
gotcha.
That's one of them.
Awesome. I'll have to tell my children what they can be looking for, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's pretty cool. That's something that it gives more versatility to the cooler, because 501, when you clock out on a Friday, you can put a case in there and go wherever you're going. But during the week, you can use it for food, or you can kind of carry it around.
Awesome. So a real success story from local folks to Clemson to big national stuff. What's been the coolest part of all this?
Oh man, I think the people along the way. I think there's a lot of people that we met, and I mean, you keep on, I guess, growing, and I mean, we make mistakes, and it's fun sharing those experiences with other people that are going through the same thing. But yeah, I mean, it's just all about the storytelling and the just building a good story.
Yeah, that's awesome. So Anthony, you want to ask him our signature question?
Yeah, we have a signature question. You probably, if you watched Austin's video, we
absolutely.
asked it at the end. What makes you tick?
Yeah, I would say I was thinking about this a little bit. I think internally, so my background is finance and operations, and like I love like structures and systems. But internally, I would say within our company, just like a good process, a good agile system that can really make organization a little bit better, and communication. But externally, I mean, I think it's working with other entrepreneurs, and I mean, I think that's pretty generic. I think me, Logan, and Austin, we all have that idea of like we do want to give back, and we've been through so much that we've made a lot of mistakes, and we do want to share our story for others to kind of hear and not make the same mistakes, because if we can save you, then yeah, we're going to do that.
You learn a lot more from your mistakes and your successes.
Oh my gosh, that is that is absolutely the truth.
It's funny you say that. When we have new employees start, or people ask me about our business, that's one of the first things I say is I can tell you all things not to do and save you a couple years of your life, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was thinking about like two on the way over here. One is like when you're first getting started, I mean, attorneys, I mean, they may be a little bit pricey, but I mean, they're worth their weight in gold. Yep. I mean, if you get the good structure at the beginning, then you're good to go. But also trends as well. I mean, don't chase trends that are kind of at their peak or like going down. I mean, you always got to be looking forward and maybe take some more risks. But I mean, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you for joining us. And I guess maybe also, if you wouldn't mind, tell our viewers if they wanted to see more about your product. I mean, obviously, Ace Hardware, Palmetto Moon, other retailers, but maybe they don't have one of those stores in their area, or they're want to buy it from their fingertips. How else could they find you?
No, that's very true. So we have kangacoolers.com. So you can go on there. We ship to all over America, Canada, and Great Britain. I don't know. We don't have too much other, but kangacoolers.com and Amazon as well if you want to get it in 2 days or less.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us, Ryan. We really appreciate you being here.
Nah, thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And thanks to all our listeners out there. And go out and check us out on all the various social media platforms. Certainly check out Kanga Coolers on MrBeast and all the various platforms they're on for sure. Until we see you next time, make our community great.